Welcome into our weekly look at Tiffin University Dragon football. Hi, everybody. I'm Snyder, voice of the Dragons. To my right, head football coach Brett Ekkens. Coach, it's always a good time when your rivalry is headed to your place this coming Saturday. We'll talk about that here in a little bit, but welcome back into the program.
Thank you. Yeah, we're excited for this weekend's game against Findlay, and fired up for the opportunity to go out and play.
There's some new news about the game too. We'll touch on it in a little bit, but first we'll talk about the Dragons game up at Hillsdale last week. A game which the Dragons fell by 20-17. And Coach, we just talk about the overall. You had some guys who were playing. Kenny Bird got hurt on that punt return. Hopefully he's going to be back this week. We had to move some guys around a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about the team after that game and how they're getting ready now for Findlay.
Yeah, I mean, it was a heartbreaking loss. We had a lot of excitement going into the game, and the guys played hard. Kudos to Hillsdale on coming away with the win. But yeah, it was a really unfortunate day, and we didn't quite do enough to get it done. Kenny Bird went out on the punt block that we had that he returned, and that we were missing him, and it is what it is. The other guys, Collier Brown stepped up and had a good game, and you've got to go in Sunday like you do every Sunday, right, and fix the problems and prepare for the next game, and that's what we did. We're a process-oriented team. I've talked a lot about that. So the loss does sting and hurt, but we've got to press on and get better.
Yeah, Jalen Thomas continued to do good things for you. You got your first touchdown, a pass from Alex Johnson when the Dragons took an early lead, and Jalen's a kid who seems to be there just each and every week for you. Just continues to do the job. Had over 100 yards again. Yeah,
he's been very consistent, and it was awesome to see him come away with another touchdown catch. He's had a great senior year and really a great career here.
Yes.
So it was awesome to see him come away with another touchdown and in a 100-yard game. It's really impressive.
Your freshman kicker, Ben Rudolph, continues to seem like he's getting more and more confident. He made a 43-yarder in the second quarter for you. That thing had distance to go farther if needed.
Yeah, he connected really well on that kick, and we had good protection on it, and he's been consistent, and he works really hard at his craft, and he's out there every day at practice, trying to perfect his kicking motion and get better every day.
Seems like every week one of your special teams guys steps up, whether it's Ethan on the return game, Joseph Weers with the punts a couple weeks ago, Ben this week. It's always cool to see those guys. And your long snapper was down there trying to make tackles on the punt game. I saw a little bit as well. So Does that make you nervous a little bit when he's down there trying?
No, it's part of his job. He's but Ryan's
just so good at what he does.
He is. Ryan's done a great job, not just this year but in the past year. And
right.
You talk about Ben, but the snap, hold, kick process, that's really important. JJ's done a great job stepping in and holding for us. Our specialists are highly valued members of this team, and they do a great job with what they do, and they are football players. They want to go make tackles. Sometimes we got to pull them back.
Right.
But it was good to see them have a good day.
Another Dragon got in the end zone in the second half. Will Jackson Linkhart, another pass from Alex Johnson, and Will, with his size and having him down the goal line, that's a huge bonus to have a guy with that size.
Yeah, he is. He's a physical presence, and we were missing him those first few weeks of the season. It's been great to see him continue to progress, getting back into kind of the role that we saw him having as we went through spring ball and into the summer. So he's done a great job specifically the last few weeks, and he's a mismatch specifically down in the red zone or in a short yardage situation.
Well, the Dragons closed the book on Hillsdale and opened the book on Findlay. Rivalry weekends are always a blast. So the news, Coach, we were talking about, there's now a traveling trophy going along with this game. Did you have it? I know, and coaching, I'm sure, with the Battle of the Valleys, I know things like that, your previous stops. Did you have any traveling trophy name rivalry games when you were a player at Mount Union?
Not at Mount Union. We've had them at a couple of the stops I've been at Akron. We had the wagon wheel, which we won. We won 4 of the 5 years that I was there. That was a lot of fun with Kent State. And then at Saginaw Valley, we actually had there was a battle for the axe. So we would play Northwood. For the axe, and then you'd get to paint the axe. So when I was there, the axe stayed red, and it was a lot of fun. And honestly, anytime there's a trophy involved, there's just a little bit more. There's a little bit more at stake, and it's a fun thing. And that the rivalry is already a big rivalry, and so the addition of a trophy is just going to make it that much more of a fierce rivalry.
Well, I'm glad we didn't have it a long time ago, and Findlay dominated the series. But since we've all been in the GMAC, it's 3-3 between the two clubs, including the Dragons going over there last year to complete an undefeated season. New coaching regime here. You probably weren't real familiar with the rivalry between the two schools, but you were familiar with both schools, working at the division, playing in Ohio at the Division III level, and coaching at the Division II level. So, Findlay coming in this week, it's, they have a loss to Ashland, we have a loss to Ashland. Everybody's still jumbled up there at the top. So, even though the loss last week stings, there's still a ton to play for this week.
Oh yeah, we're not focused on the past at
Right.
all. I have to talk about it here with you as we progress forward.
I drive you crazy.
Our kids moved forward on Sunday after we put that game to rest. We've had a great week of practice, and we're excited. We are fired up to be playing Findlay. They're 25 miles down the road.
Yep.
It means a lot to this community. It means a lot to our kids, and we're fired up. We're adding the trophy this year, and the excitement levels through the roof. So we want to go out and we want to play our very best, and we're focused on, it's the same thing, we're focused on what we do in our process, and we understand that there are additional implications for this game as far as the community is concerned, as far as even the postseason's concerned. I mean, there's a lot at stake for both schools, and we're excited to go play a fierce rivalry.
One of the great things about the rivalry games, you really shouldn't have to work too hard to get the kids fired up for this weekend. It's more about implementing what you need to do to get the kids to victory. And let's talk a little bit about the two squads. Running back Jaden Farmer for Findlay, he leads them with 630 yards, and Ronald still leading the conference, 1,165 yards on 200, leading the conference in 205 attempts, 1,165 yards, 116.5 per game, and 10 touchdowns. So Ronald continuing to do the job. We got another formidable running back to deal with again this Saturday. Yeah,
they do a great job running the ball, and it starts with the guys that they have up front. They've got a great offensive line, and I'm pretty sure Coach Allen still coaches that unit. They've done a good job all year, and they have a back that can be explosive. They actually have a couple backs that can be explosive. So, our emphasis is going to be what it is every single week, and that's you got to stop the run first. So, for us, we want to run the ball well. That's something we've done, and now I've got to say just about every game, So that'll be a priority for us is make sure that we've got our ground game going and then stop theirs.
Now the quarterback's Matt Reevy. He leads the conference with 26 touchdowns. He's thrown for 2,453 yards. But your quarterback, Alex Johnson, our quarterback, I should say, he leads the conference 2,538 yards, 253 a game. Leads the conference in completions and completion percentage and efficiency. So a couple of the better quarterbacks in the conference going at it this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to see, and I know that both teams will be excited to compete against one another. And the quarterback position is another one where they've got a great quarterback, and we feel really good about our quarterback. We think we have a great quarterback. Yeah. So, you're going to see that type of mentality across the board, and that's why we feel it's going to be a great game.
Every game matters at the line of scrimmage, but it really matters more, when you get the rivalry games. It's all going to boil down to who controls that line of scrimmage.
For sure.
And you look at our receiver, Jalen Thomas, leads the conference 65 receptions, 960 yards per game, leads there as well, and also leads at 96 yards per game. And then Red Douglas, their leading wideout, gets 535 yards this year and 4 touchdowns. We also have a couple defensive players who are at the top of the GMAC statistic. Chris Walton, 10 sacks, 12.5 tackles for loss, both in the conference, and Justin Wimpy still up there at the top with 4 interceptions. So you don't like those numbers as much as I do, but this just shows me some guys really getting the job done.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Chris in the game against Hillsdale, but he had a great game, and he's really been, his motor's gone all year. He was productive in that Hillsdale game, and it's because of his attitude and effort. He's had a great attitude. He's had great effort all year, and all of that, paid off for him against Hillsdale, and it has paid off for him most of the year. But he's a guy that I need to make sure I sing his praises because he had a great game, and there were some other guys with a lot of tackles. Jacob Tway-May, he had a bunch of tackles, and Jalen Coles had a great game against Hillsdale as well. Justin Wimpy continues to compete there at the corner position. Yep. And we're excited. It'll be a great matchup, and there's going to be guys at each position that have done well all year, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Talented wideouts against talented defensive backs. Really, your whole defensive back, they've been very opportunistic, but even got like Malik Baker has had a great year. Really unsung. You don't hear a whole lot about him, but man, when you look at stuff, he's had a really nice year for you at the corner spot too.
Yeah, we've had a number of guys step up, and you had Chucky Lewis, who's been a staple for us for years, and he's really done a good job of leading that group, and the guys in that room. Isaiah Funches Foster being another one. Mm-hmm. They've done a great job stepping up. So it's going to be a competitive game. Findlay's got a good receiving core, and really that's what it's going to come down to. Jalen Thomas has had a great year for us, but you've got to have more than one receiver, and we feel like we do. So it'll be who's got the better receiving core, who can run the ball better with with their tight ends and their offensive line and running back up front. It's going to be a team game, and it's going to be a team victory for whoever wins.
You mentioned the wideout group. You've got games where you have 6-7 different kids make receptions in the game, and that just speaks to the depth of that room. And then put those guys against those corners out there on the practice field, and everybody's getting better with the talent that's out there for that.
Yep.
So also, what a weekend going on campus. We got to say congratulations to the men's soccer team as they're hosting the GMAC men's semifinals and finals. So the finals will be going on at the same time as the football game. Semifinals on Thursday out at the Paradiso Athletic Complex. So we got to say congratulations to Rudy and a job well done.
Yeah, they've done a great job. I've been out and watched them play a few times, and they are a lot of fun to watch. They've earned everything that they've got to this point. I know if he was watching this, he's not too fired up that we're talking about because he's just worried about that next game as well. So they wanna win the conference tournament and go on and make a run here in the national tournament. But his team's done a great job, and those guys work incredibly hard.
It's a noon kickoff for the Dragons on Saturday when Findlay comes to town. We'll have it for you on the Great Midwest Digital Network as well as the TU Dragon Football Radio Network. And Coach, how does it feel like how fast it's flown by? It's finally your final regular season, of your first head coaching season, So there's a lot of different variables into this, your family moving, your wife here in town. I mean, there's a lot of things going on. How fast is this going by, and you can believe we're finally at it?
It's been pretty crazy. We're nearing a year of my tenure here, and it's been a lot of fun. My wife and I have really enjoyed the area, but I can't believe we're already in week 11 of the season, and the kids can't either. We're excited to go out and play, and we've worked really hard, and it's been a lot of work that's gone into this. So we're excited for the opportunity to go out and play a rivalry game. We're really fired up to get back on the field Saturday.
I know the folks know what they're going to see from your kids, but go ahead and tell them what you're going to get out of your kids come Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, you're going to see a team that's going to go and fly around. We're going to play inspired football, and on offense, we're going to work to make sure that our ground game is efficient and explosive. We're going to try to be as explosive as we can and get back to controlling the clock a little bit. On defense, you're going to see us create chaos and play with full speed and physicality. So we're in the specialists. They're going to come out and do their thing. I can't forget to mention them. They're going to come out and they're going to be consistent. We want to win the special teams battle. So those three phases all working as one. That's the most important thing for us. And guys living out our culture. Culture is really important coming off the week that we had. That's when you're tested, and we're confident that our guys are bought into what we're doing.
Your upperclassmen know what it feels like to go win that rivalry game, even doing it over at their place. So I'm sure that they're spread a little bit of that to the young guys, like, hey, we've done this before, let's go do it again type of situation.
Absolutely. It means a lot to our guys, and it means a lot to the school and a lot to the community. So we're fired up for the opportunity to go represent everybody.
Yeah, win that line of scrimmage, win that turnover battle, and we'll roll the dice from there and make sure the Dragons come out on top. Again, it's a noon kickoff on Saturday. You can catch the audio from this program at 11 a.m. We'll join up with the Coast Country and the TU Dragon Football Radio Network around 11:30. He's Coach Brett Ekkens of the Tiffin University Dragons. We'll come back next week and hopefully talk about another big Dragon victory and see what the future holds for Tiffin University football. How's that sound?
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
I'm Russ Snyder, voice of the Dragons. This has been our weekly look at Tiffin University football.